Hey guys, it's Kendra and I'm back with another video. And this video, as you can tell from the title, is my eyebrow tutorial using the Anastasia of Beverly Hills Dipbrow. And I sometimes do my eyebrows with pencil, but most of the time, ever since I got it, I've been using this Dipbrow. I love it. And I want to show you guys how I do it. I have it, and this is the packaging. And it just says Anastasia of Beverly Hills front. And I have it in the color dark brown. And I love it. I think it's a great product. I love the way it goes on. It feels smooth. Once it sets, it's set. You don't have to worry about it budging. You don't have to set it with anything else. It's amazing. An amazing product. But anyways, in case you see my hair in this video, it's looking crazy. This is my natural hair in its natural state, as you guys can see. And I just put it up and out of the shot. Out of the shot for this video, so hopefully you guys don't see too much of it. I'm trying to hide it with the headband. But anyways, so I want to show you guys the brushes that I use and the brushes you can use. And for just combing out and brushing on my eyebrows and laying them the way that I want them to lay, I use a spoolie. And this spoolie is from Morphe brushes, and I actually went to the store in Burbank. But you can order them online. They're very inexpensive and they're pretty good, decent brushes for the price. And it's just a nice spoolie, and I just, you know, spool them and lay them the way I want them to lay. I use this before the product and after the product, because once I put the product on, once I've laid it on, I like to brush it through my brows to kind of make it melt with the brows and make it all blend together. To apply the product, I use my Sigma E65 brush. It's a small angle brush, and it looks like this. And it's really like thin, because the thinner the bristles of the brush, as you guys can see that right there, the thinner the bristles of the brush, the more precise application you're going to get, because you get a really thick, like you get a really thick one if you try to apply it with maybe something like this. You wouldn't get as precise of an application. So I go ahead and I use this. And then once I've brushed them, apply the product, brush them again, it's time to kind of sculpt them and outline them. And lately I've been using this brush. Before I was using a flat top brush, but I kind of like this one better because I can see better what I'm doing as I'm doing it, you know? So this is just a Sonia Kashuk brush. It's pretty old. It's all like bent up and dented. But it works. Now this is the brush that I was using before to sculpt the eyebrows with the concealer. And this is just an e.l.f. brush. This is the eyeliner brush. And it's a flat top brush. It's not too thick, but it's not that thin either. I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you guys see that? It's hard to kind of like show you guys facing this way. Maybe if I do it over something white. I don't know. But this is what I was using before to apply the concealer to my eyebrows. And it works great. I would use it, but I just felt like it was harder to try to make it perfect like that. I feel like the angle is just a little bit better. Now for brushing out your eyebrows, you don't have to use a spoolie. You can just use one of these eyelash brushes. And this one is also from Morphe brushes, and it just says the IB115 Brow Lash Groomer. And sometimes I use this, very rarely, because I really prefer that spoolie. But maybe if the spoolie is dirty, if I can't find it, I'll go ahead and just use the brush end. If we're applying the concealer, if you don't have either one of these brushes, if you already have the Real Technique set, which I know a lot of people on YouTube have because it's a YouTuber's brand, and a lot of us have the Real Technique brushes, you can use this brush to kind of do the concealer and apply the concealer. Even though I do like a thinner brush because I feel like you get a better, more precise line when you're using a thinner brush. But you can use it. Hey, you make do with what you got, you know? Now, I was talking about sculpting the eyebrows with concealers, and this is just my concealer drawer from out of my little clear acrylic set, and I have all my concealers in this drawer, but I only use the cream concealers for doing my eyebrows because I feel like they're thicker consistency and I can get a more precise application. They won't really, the thicker they are, the less likely they'll bleed into the eyebrow and kind of like mess up what I've done. So I use a cream. I use a lighter color underneath my eyebrows and a color that is my actual complexion on top because I only want to bring forth and highlight the under area. I don't want to bring out my whole brow bone because then you look like this. And who wants to look like this? Not me. So a color is actually my complexion on top and a light color underneath. So let's just get started because I don't want to have to speed up the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do all the steps of this eyebrow, and then after that I'll come back with I'll show you guys all the steps on this one, and then I'll go off camera and do this one and then come back to end the video. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is get the eyebrow to lay the way that we want it to lay. So I just take my spoolie and just brush it. Alright, so it's laying the way that I want it to lay. Now I take my Dipbrow and my Sigma brush and I dip it in there. And I want to warm the product up a little bit because this is the areas that's been used before, that's been dipped into. Sometimes it can just be a little bit dry, so I warm the brush up by just kind of like rubbing it just like in downward motions a little bit. Then I want to wipe off the excess on the back of my hand, just like sideways. Like that. And then I go in, not starting from the very front, unless you want a completely dark eyebrow. That's not usually the look that I'm going for. I kind of want it to look more natural, like how this eyebrow is by itself. It's lighter in the front, and then it fades to thicker. So I kind of want to create that same illusion when I'm filling in my eyebrow. So I don't start all the way here. I just start a little bit further back. Hope you guys can see. I start at the bottom, just dragging it and laying out the outline the way I want it to be. So I'll just start to fill in. And if there's any like sparse areas, like sometimes my eyebrow doesn't grow in where I want to grow it up top, and I'll just take this without adding any more. I only put my brush into the pomade one time. That's all I do, unless there's like an area that I didn't cover initially and I see it later. I'll dip it lightly a second time, but usually I don't have to dip it again. Once I have the first little bit of product on there, I am good. And you're just going to keep filling in the areas. You want to focusing more towards the tail end and not really too much towards the front unless you need it. I've already messed up a little bit right there. If you mess up, it's fine. You always can correct it with the concealer. This is what this eyebrow looks like. Now once you fill it in, you can go back in with your spoolie or brush, whatever you use to brush out your brows, and I just brush and blend it together to make it look like just hair. And then you get that. Now, you're going to go in, and I always start underneath my brow with a concealer. And for underneath, I use a lighter color, as I told you guys. And today I'm going to use the Boing Concealer in the shade 3. And I've already hit pan on it. And I'm going with my angled brush, my Sonia Kashuk angled brush. And just swirl that in there. Warm it up as well. And then take the excess, and wipe it off on the back of my hand, just like the Dipbrow. Now this, you can start from the very, very tip, the very front. And you're just going to brush that on. Really trying not to go over the hair. What I do is after I put it on, I just start to brush down. And then afterwards, I go in with my finger and continue to pull the concealer down to blend it down. Now, another reason why I like cream concealers is if your eyebrows are not freshly threaded or waxed or tweezed, the cream concealer can lay on top of the hair that you don't want to show and camouflage it and make it look like your eyebrows are done or are arched. This is what I do. I just go in and blend it out like that. And it looks crazy right now, but when you're applying your eyeshadow and everything like that, it'll all come together. And then I want to go in with my color that's more my complexion to do the top of my brow. And sometimes I won't even do the top. If I want a really precise brow, I'll do the top. And for the sake of this video, I'll do the top, but I don't always do the top. So I'm going in with my MAC Studio Finish Concealer in NW40. Just warm it up a little bit as usual, and then wipe the excess off on the back of my hand. And then I hope you guys can see. Just start to go over and sculpt the brow the way I want it to look. And remember, I messed up a little bit up top. I'm just going to go over it and fix it with the concealer and bring it down. And then I like to go back and bring it out a little bit so I can go back in with my finger, just like at the bottom, and help bring it, like blend it out. And then with the color that is the same color as my skin, I will go a little bit, I will go down the front of the eyebrow. Like that. Then I take my finger and blend. And you guys can see, here's my eyebrow before, my left eyebrow, and this is what it looks like filled in. Alright, I'm going to fill in the other one off camera and I'll be back. Okay, so this is what my eyebrows look like when they are both done. I really like the product. I think that sometimes if you overuse it, you can really make it look really bold and dark and waxy almost. But if you are very light-handed with it, the product can look very natural, because I think, you know, you guys might think different, but I think that it looks natural. I think it looks like hair. It doesn't look like I've painted or put a pomade over top of it, to me. But thank you guys for watching this video. If you found it helpful or useful, or if you just liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. I love you. Bye. I have a Rouge Volupte and a Rouge Volupte Shine. And this one is in number 8. And it's this really pretty pink. And